Good morning, Winchester. Good morning, Frederick County. This is Dana B. and Charlie M. and Scotty S., the 3% from Mountain Patriots in Educational Ministries. And we're here this morning on October 16th to talk to our Stonewall candidate for Board of Supervisors, a friend of ours from the FCRC, Chad DeHaven. And we're going to have some fun today. We had the opportunity a few weeks ago to talk to Chad when he first started his campaign, and we just wanted to get an update because there's a lot of things that are going on, a lot of things that people don't realize that are happening. So we wanted to bring Chad back on and let people know exactly where we stand and where he stands and so forth. So I'm going to turn this over to my good friend Charlie Markert, and he's going to take us through this as our facilitator this morning. Thank you much, Charlie.
Thank you, Dana, and welcome, Chad.
Yeah, man.
Morning, gentlemen.
We're really pleased that you're here.
Yeah.
Um, and I've known you for years. I've known you on the FCRC, the Planning Commission. But can you give us just a thumbnail for those viewers who might not have seen the last podcast with you about your background before politics? And then we'll get into what led you to get into politics.
Sure. Quick overview. I'm a lifelong resident of Frederick County in the Stonewall District. Grew up here in the Stonewall District, working in the family nursery, greenhouses, and landscaping business. So learned hard work and conservative values early on from the family business here. Um, Professionally, product of Frederick County Public Schools, attended Virginia Tech. And when I got out of Virginia Tech, I got into accounting in the business world. So a little bit of time in public accounting, but the last couple decades I've spent working with small businesses, helping them manage their finances, their budgeting, and the risk in business. I'm also a husband and father. My wife and I and our daughter live here at my grandparents' house that we renovated, and just recently turned into empty nesters. Our daughter graduated from James Wood this spring and is now in Richmond at VCU, and actually making her first visit home this weekend. I'm going to pick her up later this afternoon. So
Excellent.
Nice.
mom and her pets are excited.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I know who to
Great.
talk to about small business accounting and landscaping because I need some stuff done here, Charlie. So, you know, we'll
Right,
keep
right.
Chad busy one way or another.
Yeah, I've still got shovels and picks around here.
I love it.
Uh, you're just missing the calluses, right?
Oh, I've got those too.
Oh, do you? Okay.
We
Okay,
don't
good,
stop.
good. I know you've been an active member of the FCRC and member of the board of on FCRC. What led you to jump into FCRC?
Sure. So I've always kind of backed the Republican creed and those values on economic growth, lower taxes,
Mhm.
empowering individuals. Um, I actually got introduced to the FCRC through my father. My father served as a Republican for Stonewall District on the Board of Supervisors, and then later as the Republican chairman on the board for several years. So he was my introduction to the FCRC. Once joining the FCRC, really felt like I needed to get involved and take a leadership role. So I've been serving as the treasurer for the FCRC for, oh gosh, I was figuring it up the other day, four or five different chairmen and chairwomen of the FCRC. So more years than I want to count right now.
Yeah,
And
great.
felt like part of what I was brought up with was to serve your community and to try to give back. That's really how we form community, and that's what got me as an active involved in the FCRC. FCRC is like a lot of community groups. It seems to be follows the 80-20 rule. There's about
Right.
20% of the group that really is the most active, and I've always wanted to be part of that active group.
Yeah,
We just
and
got to
and
make it bigger. I mean, we're rolling in some really wild times, with the Trump administration and the elections, not just this year, but also next year, because we always have an election going on here in Frederick County. It doesn't stop, and we just need to grow the base and get the community back on track, you know, in some good ways.
Yeah,
and
I'm
Just,
getting
just
positive
for
feedback.
kicks and giggles, guys, you might want to explain what FCRC means for those who don't know what it is.
Frederick County Republican Committee. It's a committee that each county has under the state Republican Committee.
Right.
So they have a function all the way up to the state level.
We have some
It's
good members too. We have some
they're
good
good,
members,
good.
and we're getting bigger and we're getting more solid. Good
Yeah.
point, Scott.
So, Chad, what values are you standing on to bring the right things into the community as a representative of the community?
Yeah, I think there's kind of three or four key pillars that I'm focusing on.
Hmm.
First one's transparency and accountability.
Right.
I think we've got to be transparent in government. Government works better when it listens,
Yeah,
really serves its constituents.
yeah, great. That's a big one, especially coming up on some of the issues that we have going on today. What do you hope to achieve in your coming on to the Board of Supervisors?
I'd really like to see the county continue with long-term fiscal stability.
Hmm.
In the last two fiscal years, the board has used capital improvement or kind of funds identified for big purchases versus
Right.
operating expenses, and they've transferred that to operating expenses. Well, that's not a sustainable model.
No.
I'd really
No.
like to see the county get back to making good fiscal decisions for the long term. We've got some challenges ahead, and if we're gonna meet them, it's going to be based on a solid fiscal foundation. And I think my background at working with business and accounting really lends itself to help in that key role.
Yeah, I can see that. Scott, what do you think? Because I know we've got high schools that are coming up, and we're looking at all kinds of growth here in the county. And you being on the board for the school board, you guys have been working pretty much hand in hand, correct?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting kind of dance over the next few years because we have a lot of infrastructure problems in this county
Mhm.
uh, because of decisions that were made 20, 30 years ago.
Right.
So it's going to be an interesting thing on how do you find streams of revenue to build the things that we need to handle the influx of people. That's the biggest thing right now is we've just got so much traffic in Winchester you can't even get around in certain parts. And if it's 5 o'clock somewhere, you're going to be stuck in traffic for a long time. So it's going to be the board of supervisors and the school board working hand in hand. And I think with the people that are in charge now, I think that's a lot better of a perspective.
Yeah, I,
Yeah.
I agree. We have a lot of work to do, and we can get the community on board like we've been doing with a lot of the other supervisors. I think, Chad, that the community can help us out as well, and we're all on the same page, and we all have a common goal is to fix some of this stuff. I think we're in pretty good shape in the next couple of years.
Is
Yeah,
it,
and
is it,
my campaign slogans, one of the is planning with purpose. And I think that's
Planning with
important. We
purpose.
plan and we work together because I think it's not just a revenue problem. I think we can do things more efficiently too.
Yeah,
Um, the prime example I've been bringing up recently is Jordan Springs Elementary School. And this was back before Mr. Sturtevant was on the school board, but the school board and the board of supervisors, and when that school was initially built, had a lot of friction back and forth, and they cut some of the funding for it. And that meant fewer classrooms and a smaller gym. 2 years after that, three
you
years
need
after
money.
that, $600,000 to put modulars outside a new school. Now we're 5 years from when it's open, and we're looking at a multi-million-dollar renovation to go back, add to the gym, and add classrooms. Well, I think we could have been smarter about that and worked together and really planned for what we needed. And at the end of the day, saved our taxpayers money.
Hey, Chad, wouldn't you call that tripping over dollars to pick up dimes?
Absolutely.
Pretty much.
it, hey, Chad, is it even possible to balance the budget? I mean, can we do that? We're the fastest growing county in
Right.
Virginia. That puts a lot of pressure on more and more infrastructure. Um, does balancing the budget have a role in that, or do we really only focus on new revenue?
Well, I think we absolutely have to balance the
Both.
budget. In Virginia as a locality, we can't run a deficit. We've actually got to figure out how to make the
A
revenues
surplus.
meet the expenses. So we have to run a balanced budget. To your point, I think we probably need to look at revenue, but we absolutely need to continue to look at the expense side of things because what it really comes down to, in my mind, is value. We're going to have to spend money, but what is the value we're getting from it? Is it worth spending a little money today to get the value tomorrow? And I think that needs to be our driver when we're working through the budget. What kind of value are we delivering our residents and our
Good
citizens?
point. Great point.
What other major issues do you see ahead of you and the board?
Well, I think Scott and Mr. Sturtevant pointed out traffic. I mean, traffic
Yeah.
is a major issue in our community, and we feel it out here in Stonewall, just like all the other localities. We've got exit 317 here at 81 and 11. And man, I used to get to town in 6 minutes, and it can be
Right.
an hour or so now on a normal day at middle of the afternoon. And we absolutely need to address that. It's a challenge. We've got, as a county, we rely heavily on VDOT to fund our
Right.
projects and our major roadway improvements. But we can also be smarter about that planning too. For decades now, I've been hearing, this Eastern 37 bypass is the solution to all of our problems. Well, I'm going to tell you something. I've heard that for decades. And that's a multi-billion-dollar project that cannot be built as it's drawn on the maps. And I think it's important that we drop back, we look at what actual solutions can be implemented. And I think we're starting to head that direction where you've seen the planning process break those connections between the key arteries on the east side down into smaller projects and be realistic about what we can achieve. If we keep talking about this full limited access eastern bypass as the solution and it's always our priority, well, it's not realistic to fund and build. So then everything below that gets ignored. And we
Hmm.
need to focus on projects that can be built. And it means working with our state representatives to make sure funds are coming back, having a great working relationship with VDOT, as well as looking at we can't budget some local funds to put towards road projects, which will really help us with the smart scale scoring. So for those that aren't familiar with road construction, State VDOT has a system they call Smart Scale. That
Hmm.
is how they do it's a competitive process across the whole state for what projects get funded. And they're built on this scale, smart scale. And part of it, what it considers is the locality willing to spend local funds to move that? It helps it move it up the list. And I think that's an important aspect we need to look to continue.
Well, that sounds good. Sounds like you have a good handle on that. What other issues come to mind?
Well, I think, continuing to build our tax base is an important one. We've got a lot of needs in the county. We've got schools we talked about, but we've also got fire rescue and our sheriff and our safety to worry about. And everything's going up in cost, and we need to continue to
Right.
pay attention to it, make sure we're getting value, but recognize there's going to be cost involved. And to me, that means we've got to look to grow our tax base. And in my opinion, through smart business growth is the best way.
Hmm.
Identify good, clean industries that bring productive jobs to our area and build our tax base. If we don't, the only lever left to pull is the real estate tax, and I prefer not to overburden our current residents and taxpayers. Let's build the economy and build the business base.
You just make me think, Chad, being a conservative growing up, it was always tax and spend, and nobody pays attention to the checkbook. I'll just throw this out there. We're watching right now with this government shutdown, and all of a sudden you're looking at the Democrats wanting $1.5 trillion, okay, for things that have absolutely nothing to do with the homeland. So that's how I look at Frederick County, as this is our homeland, and we have to be more fiscally responsible with the dollars and cents that come in here and be accountable for exactly what we're doing, because we can't just tax people and spend it. Mike Gouvermont brought up a really big thing the other night. He says, you guys want all of these services, but nobody wants to pay for them. What are you are you willing to give a little bit up here to get here? Are you willing to do a little bit here to get there? And it was a really nice conversation. And I think it's important, especially when you come into the fray, that you're out here talking to us like the rest of the Board of Supervisors has been coming out talking to Mountain Patriots, working with the community like that. So because a lot of us have ideas as well on the fiscal responsibility and bringing in revenue as well.
Yeah, and I think that's another key aspect
It's
that we've
huge.
got to focus on is that citizen engagement. And
Absolutely.
if one of the running a campaign's tough, but I'll tell you one of the most rewarding parts is getting out and talking to people.
Yeah.
So whether you're knocking on doors or you're at a community meeting, I've gotten to talk to so many good people just across the spectrum from different jobs and different backgrounds, and they all
We're
have
all
a
the
different
same.
perspective, but they're all bringing real good solutions to the table. And so often people feel like with government, hey, maybe they attend a meeting on Wednesday night, they get up, they say something during their 3 minutes,
Right.
and then
Right.
everything's ignored. Well, we've got big challenges. We need to engage everybody
Right.
and really be willing to hear what these ideas are and not just instantly react to that idea, but investigate it and determine whether it's a good fit for our community. Because it's going to take balance. We've got a beautiful county with a
Yeah, we do.
wonderful rural character, and I don't want to lose that. And I think that's where the planning with purpose really comes back in, is making sure we look at how we balance those different interests.
Charlie, that kind of switches here. We were talking about the data centers and substations and things like that, and we're
Right.
actually doing what you're talking about, Chad. We actually put together a little bit of a think tank, and I'll let Charlie touch on that because he's kind of heading that up on getting community involved in that kind of thing. Correct, Charlie?
Yeah, and that's a hot issue coming up as
Very hot.
data centers, as it relates to the budget and revenue and
Yep.
all of that. Um, but there's a lot of emotion and opinion that's out there. So
Without
we're
research.
we're trying to separate the facts from the opinions,
Mhm.
recognize them both, but not we want to avoid making opinions seem like they're um,
Facts.
facts,
Right.
and if they are, so be it. But um, we've met a few times, and we're going to be meeting this Saturday
Right.
as we're putting together. So far, I've got a matrix going of
There's
all
about
the
10 of us,
issues.
Chad.
That's
Yeah,
great.
Hmm.
and I got about 20 pages of
Right.
stuff, so that we're sorting through and trying to make sense of to share that with the public. So I would see that going forward as an opportunity for other topics. Um,
Right.
Fluoride in the water is one thing that comes
Right.
to mind.
That's a big one.
Yeah. So that's a possible thing that can be encouraged for others, groups within the community. Get a handful of people together and put your best thinking caps on and come up with solutions. Um, I know problem solving. The old problem solving is a problem pops up. Oh, I have a solution. So that so we implement the solution. Well, that becomes a source of other problems. So it goes. So there's an art and a process, a system to problem solving. Um, but I think right now, Dana, you want to give us a little commercial on Mountain Patriots?
Well, yes, because we're talking right there, talking about getting the community involved, and that's actually what Mountain Patriots Educational Ministries does. And this is the website. You can go to MTNPATS, mountainpats.com. You can hit us at Mountain Patriots at proton.me. You can go on here and you can tell us what you want to do. But we literally have, and Chad knows this, we have uh, 7 ministries. And in order to help get the community together and involved, a lot of people feel like, and Chad said it, we're not heard. They come in for 3 minutes and they're not heard. We meet every other Monday and then we do meetings in between and we do conferences and so forth. But there are 7 ministries. We're working with the school board, with the education ministry. Of course, we have Mr. Sturdivant who's with us. We had the school board come out. We have a spiritual ministry. We're looking at the Christian values, the Black Robe Regiment, the impact on political influence. Charlie Kirk is a big thing right now. People are coming back to the Bible. We have a Constitution ministry, learning our rights, civil defense ministry, and being prepared for being bugging in and bugging out, being prepared. And here's a big one. This is our community ministry. We want people to be involved in what's going on, and we want people to have their opinions heard. But the only way to have opinions heard is not wait for a Wednesday night, once a month meeting, or once a month school board meeting, or once a month board of supervisors meeting. So we try to keep people engaged in what's going on so that when we do get there, like Charlie was talking about, we can give you guys more information about what's happening. And because we know you guys, you can't do everything, and the community wants to be involved. Well, here's your chance, folks. There are all kinds of videos on here. Um, my wife has been absolutely fantastic. There's updates on everything that's going on. There's information on how to get involved. There's places to contact us. So I'm going to stop sharing here, and I just wanted to give people an overview of where to go to get involved. And I will tell you this: we're working on the political side of it right now. And I didn't. This is still going up. Website's still being built, but this is our historical podcasts. And I'll let Charlie really quick take a minute or two to tell you what we're doing with our historical podcast, because he's George Washington. His horse isn't here, but Charlie is.
Yeah, we had a discussion with Liberty Man, and
Yep.
and he suggested that it'd be good if we had segments, videos that we could share with teachers so they could use it in their classrooms with all of the historical people we have in Shenandoah Valley,
Right
um,
here.
but not just here, but largely here. Uh, let's do 20-minute videos. So we're looking at interviewing people as if we went back in a time capsule and met up with them and had a quick podcast with them. And some of us will become that character, which I will become George Washington. But others will tell us about what is going on around, and picking a person and talking about them and their childhood, their professional career, the battles they fought in, the historical context. So we're going to be doing that in honor of the 250th anniversary of the United States of America.
And Chad and
So
I have had great conversations about this, Charlie, because his father-in-law is really a big historian, especially around here. So
yeah,
he's working on that. Am I right, Chad?
Absolutely.
I love it. Well, there's the end of our commercial. I hope people will
okay.
take a look at our website, mtnpatsmountainpats.com. Charlie, what's our next question here for Chad?
Well, you're in the middle now of um, the battle for the election, your campaign. How is that going, and what are your observations on the campaign so far?
Yeah, I think it's going well. I do have an opponent running as an independent down here in Stonewall, so we're working hard to get out and engage with voters. Um, been knocking doors for the last couple weekends. Again, it's great to get out and get feedback on what's important to different people and what they see based on their perspectives has been fantastic. Um, Early voting is open now, so starting to see numbers coming out of early voting, which is it's great to see people getting out and getting engaged.
Right.
Looking to do outreach and try to meet people where they are. So I've done some text messaging, which is kind of a new thing, just to say, hey, here we are.
Right.
Have also shot some short form videos to start putting out online and by text. So trying to get out, reach as many people as we can. I think it's going well. I'm encouraged by the people I get to talk to. Um, that being said, it's an off election year. So Virginia is one of two states that has elections every year.
Right.
And people are kind of, exhausted from the last presidential run. So making sure we turn out the vote is going to be really, really important.
And that-
That's one of the biggest things I'm hearing. And it's going to be a tight race, not only for me locally, but at our state level. And it's super important that we go ahead and we back Winsome Sears and we get her into the
Yes.
governorship because I'll be honest, I worry about the alternatives. Um, and we need to get out there and we need to work. And it's going to be a grassroots efforts that pushes not only my campaign over, but hopefully the state level as well.
We've got good candidates. I'm telling you, Winston's been doing a daggone good job. John Reed's out there all the time. We watch what happened with Jay Jones. Scott, what are your thoughts here, my friend? Because you've been through this whole campaign process. We did a lot of work with you a couple years back.
Yeah, definitely campaigning is not for the weak, the weak of heart. And I think he's right. It's an important election, both locally and statewide. And you kind of have to stop and wonder what's going to happen if the other side gets in. But I'm praying that the Lord's going to see a good result on our favor. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of hard work left to do. I mean, we got about 2 more weeks, maybe, I think. So just have to
17, 18 days. Yeah.
Mhm.
just keep on getting out there and convincing people of what we got to do. And it's definitely going to be consequential.
Relative to that, Chad, how can we help you? How can people help you?
Let me throw something in real quick, Charlie, because
Okay.
we do have Mountain Patriots that are out there right now. I know that Kelsa and Sue are out at the polls right now. They're out there most days, okay, talking to people and so forth. Um, uh, we have a battle cry at Mountain Patriots for us to work the polls. The last time we worked the polls, we covered 23. We had 23 of us covering the polls, being out there talking to people and getting their ideas and because a lot of people, and Scott will tell you as a running the elections as he did forever, that some people don't even know who's running. They just show up. So we want you to know that there's going to be a lot of us that are out there, and I am going to ask other people that are watching this video to share this video, subscribe to what we're doing, follow what we're going, and help us out. Be out there banging on doors, talking to people, talk to them at gas stations, talk to them wherever you are, and come out and vote. Come out and vote. Scott, you know what it's like being at the polls, correct?
Oh, most definitely. I was the precinct captain
Right.
down here at the bottom of the hill for 20 years, and
Yep.
it never ceased to amaze me the number of people that came in. They're looking for the R or the D, and if there's no R or D, then they're kind of stumped. And I can't tell you how many times people ask me, "Can you tell me something about these candidates?" And I'm like, "No, I can't."
It's too
Or
important.
you know, and still my favorite story is the guy that came in and he votes all the time, came in the Democratic presidential primary in 2020 and said Trump's not on this ballot. I said, yeah, it's because it's a Democrat presidential primary. Well, I don't want to vote for these guys, I want to vote for Trump. We'll come back in November. It's amazing. It just is absolutely amazing.
In other words, wake up, Winchester. That's been our cry for 3.5 years now. Wake up, Winchester. And we can only handle what we do here in Frederick County. Not that we can't help other people, but we're very concerned about what we can do to help maintain and grow and do everything that we can for the great place that we live right here in Frederick County in Winchester. Charlie?
Yeah. Are there any other issues that you want to bring up before we get into the closing?
No, I think we've hit the big issues. I mean, growing our commercial tax base strategically to help support the expenses we're going to have, collaborative planning with the schools and public safety, and then realistic transportation solutions are kind of the top three for me. Um, and that's important. I want to make sure that our community maintains a safe, comfortable place that we're all proud to call home.
Right.
I've been here 45 years and I don't plan on going anywhere. I'd like it to be a place my daughter wants to come back to.
I love it.
Cool. Um,
Charlie, Scott, any last comments?
I would
I'm
ask,
good.
um, what thoughts do you want to leave with the people who are viewing this? Your
Yes.
final thoughts.
Sure. I think real quick, I'm going to touch on you'd asked what you can do, and I think we hit a couple of the things. We've got early voting that's open now, and we've got outreach. The last 2 weekends are going to be key for making sure we have poll greeters, people out meeting people, handing them sample ballots, helping to educate.
We'll be there.
So a lot of our regulars are gone for 2 weekends, so we need to make sure we get fresh blood in there for the next 2 weeks. So if you are able to help at the polls early voting, please let me know. Let Dana know. We'll get you signed up. We'll get you in touch with the right people. Also, day of election day at the polls, it's going to be critical. I talked to the FCRC chairman, Mr. Adler, the other night. There is a sign up out there now on the website and an application so we can make sure we're filling all the time slots at all the locations. Come do that. If you've got some extra time and you want to get on my fitness regime, I've got plenty of doors to keep knocking out here in Stonewall. So
Fitness
let me
regime.
know. We'll get you all set up and you can come with me to knock and meet some great people along the way.
I love it.
Wonderful.
We'll be out
Wonderful.
there. I will tell you, there's a lot of Mountain Patriots that'll be working the polls.
We are fortunate to have someone with your experience and attitude running for our board of supervisors.
Oh yeah,
And,
your
thank
background is
you,
excellent.
thank you
And
for
thank
stepping
you.
into the arena.
Well, I
This is
appreciate that
tough.
and I appreciate everything you guys are doing. I've learned so much coming out to your Monday meetings. It's fantastic. The topics covered are so broad. It's been fantastic.
Well, we there's 7 ministries. We want to make sure that we hit them all, and we give people something that they can look forward to on a Monday night. You know, coming out on a Monday night, you're thinking, okay, I gotta. Well, what can you learn?
Yeah.
Okay, and what can you learn? And what part that you've learned that can you put into one of those ministries that help us out here in the county?
Yeah, and it's not about politics, it's about the people. And that's the
Fellowship.
fantastic, the sense of community and fellowship that you guys have formed. It's fantastic.
We love it. We've been
Thank
blessed.
you.
I mean, that I can tell you, we've been absolutely blessed. And Scott runs a lot of the ministerial part of this for us now. Of course, Charlie's the chair, and Barbara. We can't do it without this young lady that puts everything together for us. I'm telling you. So, honey, thank you. I have to. She's. I think I'll keep her.
Okay, back to you, Dana.
Well, I want to thank Chad today for coming out and talking to us, and Scott, thanks for taking the time. Charlie, um, I want to make sure that people know that we need you to be part of this community to help us out. The next few years are going to be really, really crazy. There's a great opportunity, not scary. There's a really great opportunity for us to grow and build, not just here in Frederick County, but Virginia and all over the country. There's some really great things that are happening as we're breaking down one old system and literally rebuilding the Constitution of the United States of America. So get involved. Be on some of these podcasts with us. Share this where you can. Make sure you subscribe. It helps us out. The algorithm really helps us out. So like, share, subscribe, and most of all, please comment when you see some of these podcasts and so forth. Please comment. And lastly, don't forget to jump on here and let us know if you what character you may want to be that we've lined up starting in November for our 250th anniversary of the United States of America, and we have a republic, ma'am, if we can keep it. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Charlie, and we have our own Mountain Patriots Educational Ministries prayer, and we do believe that this country we have a covenant with God. That's just the way it is, and knows all and is all, and all glory goes to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So I'm going to turn it over to Charlie today for our final thoughts and prayer.
Thank you, Dana. Let us pray. Dear Lord, thank you for this beautiful world and this country that you've given us, and the patriots who are willing to care for it. Thank you for inspiring our founders to create this beautiful republic. Please help us to keep it as the aspiring place to live. Please give us the wisdom to do the right things, the common sense to judge wisely, the energy to never give up, and your unending grace in which we take comfort. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Well, I want to thank you all for being here today.
Yeah,
Charlie,
thanks.
it's always a pleasure. Have a very blessed day. And as we always say at Mountain Patriots Educational Ministries, because we have the Bible and Rick's book, The Thinking Prepper, this one is in the book.
Is in the book.
It's in the book. Have a great day, guys.
Take care.
Thank you guys.